Good evening. I'm Roberta Parks, and I'm on the board of directors for the League of Women Voters of Greater Peoria. And we are very pleased to be here in Morton this evening, hosting the candidate forum for the Republican candidates running for the 2nd District of the Tazewell County Board. I'd like to first thank our co-sponsors, which are the Morton Public Library and the Morton Chamber of Commerce, for co-sponsoring with us. And we'd also like to thank the library for letting us make use of their facilities. We love libraries to do candidate forums in. That's where we do most of them. As I said, we're doing the forum tonight for the Republican candidates running for the 2nd District of Tazewell County Board. There are 4 candidates running. You'll notice there's 3 candidates here. One of the candidates selected not to participate in the forum. So the League, just to give you a little bit of perspective, the League is a nonpartisan organization. Both men, regardless of our name, both men or women are welcome to be members. Terry Colbus will be our moderator tonight as our immediate past president. So we even let boys rise to the throne, which probably took a lot of discussion. So we do take positions on issues after a lengthy study process, but the League, nowhere in the United States does the League ever support parties or candidates. And that's why we do these forums, is to make sure one of our primary tasks is to increase voter education and make it easier for voters to make informed decisions when you go to the cast your ballot. So we are a membership organization. The ladies in the back of the room do have membership information if you're interested in joining the League, and we would love to have you. We are working very hard to increase our membership in Tazewell County. And that's one of the reasons we're doing the Tazewell County Board. We've worked with John Ackerman, your county clerk, on many projects, so we appreciate that. So we hope you come away from tonight with a little bit more information about these folks who are running for the Tazewell County Board, because they have a direct impact on your daily life. And now I would like to introduce Terry Colbus, who will be our moderator this evening. Please remember that you can submit questions. Chris and Dottie are collecting questions. We have cards for you, so if you just raise your hand and they'll collect your card. But it's up to the discretion of the moderator which questions are asked, because we probably won't be able to ask all of them. We have a good crowd tonight, and he may combine some questions if you can lump 2 into 1. So of that, I'll turn it over to Terry.
Thank you, Roberta. I have my own little script here that I have to go through, but I will tell you this is my first time being a moderator, and there'll be 2 things that are at the top of the priority list for me. One is being fair to the candidates. So if anybody senses anything, a faux pas or a mistake on my part, we want to make sure that it doesn't result in any unfairness to the candidates, and also providing you with the information that will help you make an informed vote when the time comes for that. Tonight's candidates: 2nd District, Tazewell County Board, Cathryn Stump, Jonathan Hopkins, and Eric Stahl. As Rob mentioned, Mr. Lutz declined to attend. Prior to the start of the forum, the candidates have drawn cards to determine the order in which we'll go. And we'll just try and keep that. We'll just rotate as we go. So some rules for the room, if you will. Please turn off all your cell phones so we don't have any of those kinds of interruptions. We'll ask you not to applaud because that tends to take away from the candidate's time. The candidates will have 2 minutes for an opening statement. Each candidate will have 1.5 minutes for each question. We'll rotate, as I said. Each candidate will have 1 minute for a closing statement. We have timers. We have a timer. We'll wave paddles, and so if you see that'll give the candidates a prompt on how they're doing and when it's time for them when their time is up. As Roberta mentioned, we have question collectors, and we'll try and get to the questions that are the most helpful in terms of providing you the information that you would like to have. So with that, I think we are prepared for opening statements. Where's Rob? There you are. And so we are ready for opening statements. And Jonathan, you are going to go first, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. And like you, this is the first forum for me, so we're in this together. First, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters, as well as Morton Library here. All the folks have come out, very familiar faces, so good to see you all tonight. Thank you so much for coming out, and those that are watching and listening. What an honor to spend this time together. I'd like to give a brief story of my life, how I came to run for the county board, and then why I feel I'd be a good fit for your vote. I was born and raised in a close-knit home here in Central Illinois. My upbringing instilled in me a strong work ethic and deep-rooted sense of community. Coming from rural Tremont, where my father still lives. My own path led me to Peoria at the age of 20. My pursuit of education at ICC, embarking on a career in retail sales. However, my entrepreneurial spirit led me to venture into insurance and real estate industries, where I'm blessed to have achieved success, enabling me to expand my endeavors into other businesses. I'm also passionate about my community. I've worked closely with the mentoring program, Heart of Illinois Big Brothers Big Sisters. Since 2014, I've helped create and launch a brand new fundraising event, served as president of their leadership council, and now serve on the board. That dedication to mentoring extended to my personal life, as I've matched with my little Tayshawn, and I've been mentoring him for 5 years here coming in March. In addition, I also am an active member of my church's production team and serve on the executive board of the Peoria Riverfront Association. Despite my extensive involvement, and I know I've talked with some of you about this, various community initiatives, I've realized that there was still more I could do to serve my own community in Morton. Feeling compelled, where I live here now, feeling compelled to further this impact, I made the decision to run for county board, aiming to leverage my diverse expertise to benefit the people of Tazewell County. I will do this with my strong foundation, future vision, that I look forward to talking more about tonight. Thank you.
And Eric, you're up next.
That's me. Sorry. Hi, I'm Eric Stahl. Thank you all for the league for doing this. I think I said it before, but I just want to say it again. Without forums like this, there's not an opportunity for people to get the message. So I find what the league is doing to be very important. I have run before, so some people may know my name, but I live out in rural Tremont, lived out in rural Tremont for about 12 years. Before that, lived out in Green Valley, rural, and lived in Delavan before that. Through that whole time, 30 years of marriage with my wife, who's from Delavan. I've worked in North Pekin at a service garage. I guess, can you say the name of where you work?
Yes.
Okay. I've worked at Torts Toyota for 30 years. That's no small accomplishment. It's a small business, but I have seen the world through small business for the last 30 years, and it's very important to me. I also volunteer at St. Joseph's Church. I've been a member of St. Joseph's Church in Pekin for our duration here. Both my kids graduated from St. Joseph's School. We were very involved with Mackinac DMAC High School, and I will say this: I volunteered on the St. Joseph golf and raffle. I tell you what, that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But if you've ever done a golf raffle for a church, it's crazy. So I've also volunteered with the Tazewell County Board on the Rural Telecommunications Board as well. So I spent some time. I will say this: one of the reasons I'm running is I mentor a lot of kids, whether it's through Scouts, a BSA leader, whether it's through the kids who go to who work for me. I have ICC kids. I have vocational kids through Tremont and other local schools. There's not a lot of optimism with the young kids coming up today, and I want to be part of the change that brings that to the next generation, and that's why I'm running.
Thanks, Eric. Cathryn, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm Cathryn Stump, and I'm running for Board District 2. I grew up in Bloomington Normal, and after graduating from Normal Community High School, I went to the University of Illinois for my teaching degree in elementary education. I would later get my master's in curriculum and instruction in Wheaton, Illinois. I taught school for 10 years, with my last 4 years of teaching in Pekin at Broadmoor Junior High School. I then decided to stay at home to raise my 3 children with my husband, John, who's an attorney with the Peoria law firm of Quinn Johnston. We have 3 children, Anna, Jack, and Henry, and I've stayed active in the community through all of their various sports and activities, especially with my youngest, Henry, who has autism and type 1 diabetes. So why am I running for the county board? I'm a strong believer in the conservative principles of limited government, low taxes, and economic freedom. My framework for making decisions on the board would be to ask 2 simple questions. 1, how does this benefit the residents of Tazewell County? And 2, how much of their hard-earned money will it cost? Some of my policies positions on these issues would be, number one, I just talked to Elton over there. I'm against the CO2 pipeline. I won't use eminent domain or special use permits to take farmland easements from our farmers or land from our schools for something we do not need. I'm a supporter of law enforcement. I'm in favor of financially supporting our sheriff. And I'm against busing illegal immigrants into our county. In Bloomington, just the 40 miles down the road here, they're debating accepting busing of illegal immigrants. We are not, nor should we ever be, a sanctuary county for illegal immigration. And I jumped right into it, I know. Sorry about that, but I figure you might as well know me right off the bat. Those are just a few of the issues that matter to me, and so I thank you for coming tonight. I look forward to earning your support.
Thank you, Cathryn. We'll start with what I hope is a kind of an easy question, get you rolling into the flow of things. And we'll start, I think, our rotation. We'll start with Eric.
Okay.
Eric, this question. And the candidates have not seen the questions at all. Correct, Rob? Question is, do you have any ideas for increasing transparency of county business?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've actually talked to the county clerk about this before. It was just recently they installed a camera off to the side of the county board meetings, so you could kind of see what's going on. But I've mentioned before, you could watch the East Peoria City Council meeting, you can watch the Pekin City Council meeting. Those budgets are a fraction of the county budget, and somehow we can't seem to do a decent broadcast and show people what's going on. So that'd be number one. I think digitizing a lot of records, I see we're doing that, so they would have easier access for people to actually request. I think that's another way. And I think just more commentary from the board members. You can Google our board members, you can Google any news reports and try and find information about the most recent meeting. Unless something scandalous is going on, there's not going to be a local news report or anything. So I think we just have to have the ability to put it out there. And that's something that's important to me.
Thank you. Cathryn, you're next. Yeah.
I would agree with everything Eric just said. Definitely getting it more, out there for it to be easily accessible to people. But I know every thing that's been going on lately with the board. I've been looking at different past board minutes and everything. It's been very accessible as to different financial issues that they've been dealing with, especially with the most recent cyber attack that they had. And it's very accessible if you're willing to research it and look at it.
Thank you. John?
Thank you for the question. So transparency, I think to Cathryn's point, granted, there's probably a lot that we can find online. One of the some of the different hot topics that have come up recently in the county, and the first thing you do is Google some of the different things, and it is a little limited on what stories we're seeing out there. And so that's some of the conversation I've had as I've talked with guys and ladies in the positions. And I think, how do we involve the news a little bit more, just so that way our communities understand what's going on a little bit better. That would be a big way. And I think having someone that understands the technology aspect and the social media type aspects, that can bring a big part of it. So thank you.
Very good. And Cathryn, this question will start with you this time.
Okay.
And this is a question about earmarked funds for establishing fiber optic internet service. And the question is goes like this. Can you speak to any progress or future plans regarding the use of previously mentioned earmarked funds for the purpose of establishing fiber optic internet service in the county areas not currently served by such?
Well, that is definitely a big issue. We, I think I've heard Eric even mention that quite a bit about that we have the rural areas within our county have definitely been overlooked. And we definitely need to, again, as I mentioned in my opening statement, is this going to address, how is this going to affect our Tazewell residents? And how much is this going to cost them? But again, like I said at the beginning, I feel like our rural residents and high-speed internet has been overlooked. And so we definitely need to make sure that that is addressed for them.
John?
Is it?
Come on, board.
I know. It's, and that
Can
little
you repeat the question?
Sure.
for me, Terry? Thank you.
Can you speak to any progress or future plans regarding the use of previously mentioned earmarked funds for the purpose of establishing fiber optic internet service in the county areas not currently served by that service?
Yeah, I grew up in rural Tremont, and so I remember the days of dial-up, and then we were able to, at Dad's, upgrade to antenna. So you had the neighbor shot from their antenna through the upstairs attic onto the next house, and that's how the faster internet came, and it is pretty limited still. He is blessed to have just gotten high-speed internet where he's at, but I do know that we've got a lot of parts of our county that don't have the high speed, and I think I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but I think some of our systems across the county are just a little antiquated, and how do we get those up to date? And I think that is the future vision that we need, and we need people that will focus on that. So.
I actually still have one of those line of sight things that's picking off my neighbor's barn. This is really one of the reasons I got into county board politics. I was on the Tazewell County Broadband Committee. And if you're not aware, the original ARP funds that came out, the American Restoration money, was set aside for things like infrastructure and water, internet, broadband for rural communities. And as it sat in Tazewell County's coffers, they've loosened the reins on that. Federal government never wanted that money back because our county never did anything with that. They never, as a matter of fact, as part of that committee, I used my own money to make a website, connecttazewell.com, and myself and current board member Max Snyder went all around Peoria and Tazewell County. We got on the media and we were really pushing the subject. The current county board does not care about this because most of the current county board members don't suffer with bad internet like I do. And there's many more people I hear about all the time. If you work for State Farm, if you were somebody who got employed with Rivian and wanted to buy a house in this area, you were not going to buy a house in Tazewell County. It's just the fact. We could set up grants for telecommunication companies in the area. We could match the money with our ARP money. We never did any of that. We saved all that money for building a courthouse, and that's been probably one of my biggest beefs and why I'm running.
Very good. And now we'll rotate back to John. And this is probably a good time to just remind the folks in the audience that if you have questions, Rob, they just somebody wants to get a question on a card. We have the cards here, and just get a card and